Thank you for listening to Depictions Media Radio. Okay, we have a press conference with Anna May Paul, Green Party leader. She is making comments about Jenica Atwin, who has crossed the floor from the Green Party into the Liberal caucus. She is the MP for Fredericton, New Brunswick, and Anna May is going to make statements about how she feels about what has happened, and also talk about what this means for those who want the Green Party in Fredericton, New Brunswick, how this is going to actually play out and balance out for the better of our country and Fredericton, New Brunswick. As you know, the Green Party is known for wanting to joint venture with parties on ideas so that the best ideas push forward to better Canada, to better our continent, and to better our globe. So let's listen to what Anna May Paul has to say.
Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. Just a very quick statement from me today about today's events. Today we learned that Jenica Atwin, Green MP for Fredericton, New Brunswick, has crossed the floor to join the Liberal Party of Canada caucus. As was confirmed during today's press conference with Ms. Atwin and Minister LeBlanc, Ms. Atwin had reached out and has been in negotiation with the Liberal Party for several weeks now. While we are disappointed with Ms. Atwin's decision, we accept it. In 2019, the constituents in the electoral district of Fredericton, New Brunswick, made what I consider to be a daring and undoubtedly historic choice to elect a Green MP to promote progressive policies. And we continue to believe that Fredericton residents deserve a Green MP. While our party always seeks to cooperate and collaborate on behalf of people in Canada, and always seeks to promote a culture of cross-party collaboration and reduction in hyper-partisan politics, there is still no question that there are significant policy differences between the Liberal Party of Canada and the Green Party of Canada on fundamental issues. Constituents, therefore, of Fredericton who chose a Green MP deserve to be offered the choice at the earliest opportunity to decide whether they now wish to be represented by the Liberal Party of Canada. Et en français? Alors aujourd'hui, on a reçu les nouvelles que Mme Atwin, le député vert pour Fredericton, New Brunswick, a décidé de joindre le caucus du Parti libéral du Canada. C'était confirmé dans la conférence de presse de Mme Atwin et ministre Leblanc que Mme Atwin a pris contact avec le Parti libéral pour lancer des négociations il y a plusieurs semaines. Nous sommes déçus, ça c'est clair, de perdre Mme Atwin, mais c'est sa décision personnelle et on l'accepte. En 2019, les résidents du district électoral de Fredericton ont fait le choix audace et le choix aussi historique d'élire un député vert pour les représenter et représenter des politiques progressistes. On continue de croire que les résidents de Fredericton méritent un député vert. Notre parti est un parti qui cherche toujours à collaborer, à coopérer à travers les partis. On cherche de le faire pour le mieux des peuples ici au Canada. On va toujours essayer de réduire la culture de hyperpartisanship, réduire la culture qui ne donne pas suffisamment de place à coopérer. Cependant, On sait qu'il y a des politiques fondamentaux différents entre le Parti vert du Canada et le Parti libéral. On sait que c'est une des raisons que les résidents de circonscription de Fredericton ont décidé de faire le choix pour une députée verte. Il mérite d'être offert le choix de dire si oui ou non il veut encore être représenté par le Parti vert ou par un représentant maintenant du Parti libéral du Canada. Merci.
Nous allons maintenant prendre les questions, commençant par les questions au téléphone. Comme à l'habitude, une question suivie par journaliste. We'll now take questions, starting with questions on the phone. As usual, one question, one follow-up per reporter. Operator, do we have a first question?
Yes, please press star one at this time. If you have a question, s'il vous plaît, appuyez sur étoile 1 maintenant pour poser une question. Et la première question, the first question is from Marike Walsh, The Globe and Mail. Please go ahead.
Hi, Ms. Paul, for taking our questions. What responsibility do you think you hold in her decision today?
You know, all I can say, Marika, is that I take Jenica at her word. She was asked that question today, and she said that her decision had nothing to do with me, that it wasn't a factor in her decision, that she hoped, that she wished me well, that she hoped that we would remain friends. And so I will take her at her word that this is a decision she took for other reasons. Jenica and I have worked very closely together. We have done many events together. We held a roundtable just about a month, maybe just under or just over a month ago together. I have never had anything but incredibly positive things to say about her. I was looking forward to campaigning for her in the next election. So I take her at her word when she says that, and when she says that this was a very personal decision to her.
But she told reporters today that the discussion around Israel, the policy differences there, was, quote, part of this. And she also said in French, just the communication method was lacking.
Mm-hmm.
So is she not also giving her view on your leadership?
Well, I think that you would need to ask her that question again. What she said in English, which is her stronger language, very explicitly twice, is that I, myself, and my leadership was not a factor at all in her decision. And as she and Minister LeBlanc said, aujourd'hui, today, during their press conference, the conversations that they have been having have been going on for numerous weeks. They predate those events that you mentioned. So again, you should ask her that question again, but as I understand it, the reasons that she had, which she explained in some detail in the press conference, none of those reasons touched upon me, and her decision predated, not her decision, but her approach to the Liberals well predated the events that you mentioned.
Opérateur, prochaine question.
Thank you. The next question, la question suivante, Catherine Lévesque, La Presse canadienne. La parole est à vous.
Oui, bonjour, Mme Paul.
Bonjour.
Je voulais savoir, quand avez-vous su que Mme Atwin quittait votre caucus? Est-ce qu'elle a eu une conversation avec vous avant de le dévoiler publiquement aujourd'hui? Et si c'est le cas, est-ce que vous avez essayé de la retenir?
Merci pour la question, et j'ai reçu les nouvelles non de même manière que tout le monde. Madame Atwin n'a pas pris contact avec moi directement ni avec mon chief of staff non plus. Nous avons des rencontres avec le caucus. Moi, j'ai des rencontres avec notre caucus au moins 2 fois par semaine. Je suis là, je suis disponible. Alors, il y avait des opportunités. Comme j'ai dit, nous avons travaillé d'une manière très, très proche sur plusieurs enjeux, sur plusieurs événements dans les semaines. Il y a que quelques semaines. Alors, c'était une surprise pour moi. Et si elle avait approché moi, j'aurais dit ce que je dis toujours, comme j'ai dit il y a juste quelques jours dans notre assemblée publique avec nos membres, que je l'appuie, que j'appuie son leadership, que j'étais hâte de le soutenir dans la prochaine élection générale. Je n'ai pas eu cette opportunité malheureusement, mais comme j'ai dit, j'accepte que Madame Atwin a dit que c'est une décision personnelle pour elle, qu'elle croit que en ce moment qu'elle est mieux placée dans le Parti libéral. C'est vraiment un choix personnel.
En même temps, vous avez eu l'occasion de vous dissocier à de nombreuses reprises des propos de votre conseiller qui a quand même laissé entendre que Mme Atwin était antisémite. Donc, dans ce sens-là, ne pensez-vous pas que vous avez une part de responsabilité quand même importante sur le fait que vous ayez perdu l'une de vos 3 députés aujourd'hui?
Je peux seulement souligner ce que j'ai dit et ce que Madame Atwin a dit aussi, que ce n'était pas du tout, il n'y a pas de lien entre moi et mon leadership et la décision. Nous avons travaillé d'une manière très proche pour tous les mois, c'est pas beaucoup de mois, mais pour les mois que je suis ici comme chef de notre parti. Comme je dis, l'approche de Madame Atwin vers le Parti libéral, elle a confirmé aujourd'hui, et le ministre Leblanc aussi. C'était avant de tout ça. Moi, j'ai fait mon mieux, comme j'ai expliqué à plusieurs reprises pendant nos conférences de presse. Je vais toujours essayer de trouver de la réconciliation entre les membres de notre parti quand il y a des conflits. Je ne suis pas là pour de faire ça d'une manière dans le média, parce qu'on sait que ça crée des positions assez rigides, et c'est jamais le but. Mais il ne faut pas mêler les choses, il ne faut pas confondre les choses. L'approche était avant tous ces événements. Madame Atwin a dit que ce n'était pas lié à que moi, je ne suis pas liée à sa décision. Elle veut rester amie, alors j'accepte ça.
Operator, next question.
La question suivante, the next question is from Rosemary Barton, CBC.
Hi, Ms. Paul. A couple questions for you. Mm-hmm. One of your senior leaders, senior advisors, Noah Zatzman, did post a Facebook posting in the middle of May saying that there were a number of Liberal, NDP, and Green MPs who he believed were essentially anti-Semitic. Do you think those comments went too far? Have you spoken to him about those comments?
The conversations between me and those who work with my office are between the two of us. And as I just said in French, I'm not seeking to mix things up. I don't want to.
I'm not asking you to mix things up.
I don't want to create linkages where they don't exist. In terms of
I'm asking you whether you think those comments
can I finish and if I could finish, and then if you're not satisfied with my answer, I'd be happy to follow up. And so, as we were told today, these discussions predated all of that. I have a minimum of 2 meetings a week with the caucus. My attempt is the one that I have mentioned several times, which is to try to bring people together who have respected each other, work closely together, and need to find a way to reconcile. And that takes time, and sometimes it's not successful. I am responsible for the words that come out of my mouth. I have been very clear about my views on the Israel-Palestine situation. We've put out a number of statements during that period. Because of who I am constantly asked about that situation. And so my views are clear, my views are my own, and my views are on the record.
Yeah, you don't have to talk about your conversation between you and Mr. Zetman, but he did post that publicly. And I'm asking you whether you are comfortable with his public comments as one of your senior advisors and whether you think they went too far.
As I said, my views are on record. My views are my own. We have a system in our party which I think should be more common. It's certainly one that our system was designed to promote, which is a variety of views. As long as those views are respectful, then there should be room for them. There were a number of views expressed over the last number of weeks, and I will really underline none of them by me, that would clearly have put people into conflict. My job, my approach to leadership is to try to bring people together and not to prosecute anything that really should be done between people who respect each other privately. So my views are very clear. They're on the record. I welcome and encourage anyone who would like to familiarize themselves with them to do so.
And we'll take the questions in the room. Chris?
Hi, Ms. Paul. Chris Reynolds, Canadian Press. Thanks for taking our questions on a tumultuous day. We heard mention of Noah Zatzman. I understand that your views are what you've expressed, not what he's expressed, but senior advisors reflect on the leaders they advise. So I guess I'm just wondering, straightforward, is he still your advisor?
Again, there's information about that available, and so the answer to that question is already public. What I attempted to do was in line with our green values, which is to try to give people the space to have a conversation without having entrenched views, which is of course what happens when things are let's say, litigated in the public. This is not just some kind of ad hoc theory of mine. As someone who has worked for years, who had worked for years in international affairs as a diplomat, both for our government and at the International Criminal Court, and also in international NGOs working on preventing deadly conflict, I know that it doesn't satisfy the hunger that people have for news. I know that it doesn't always satisfy the hunger that people have for heads, but at the same time, it is what works in order to promote dialogue, in order to achieve understanding, and in order to secure resolution. So it is not always quick, it is not always easy, but it is what ultimately produces the best results, even when you acknowledge that it isn't always successful. But it is important to underline here again that these questions were put in the press conference that Ms. Atwin and Mr. LeBlanc had earlier, and these were not the reasons that were given. And this question was approached in many different ways, and the answer was still the same, that this was a personal decision. This was about where Ms. Atwin feels that she can best represent her community, that it was not related to my leadership, that I don't think that you wish to remain friends with someone if you believe that there has been some irreparable rupture. So I take her at her word when she says those things, and again, I'm not seeking to sow division where it doesn't exist.
You mentioned that Ms. Atwin reached out to the Liberal Party before the events of mid-May when there was a clash between caucus members and at least one member of your staff, or maybe more accurately, your advisor. So on the one hand, that could suggest simply the personal or political views of Ms. Atwin differed from those of the Greens, but it could also suggest that there were other internal fissures aside from the Israeli-Palestinian conflict issue. I'm wondering if there are lingering fault lines in the party that you are concerned could be an impediment during an election.
Well, thanks for the question. And all I can say again is that until very recently, I was working very closely with Ms. Atwin and her team. We had at least twice weekly meetings together as a caucus, talking about policies, talking about how we intended to vote, talking about political strategy. She and I have done numerous events jointly, hosted numerous events jointly over the short period that I have been in this role. role. She has been very significantly promoted on our social media, in our campaigns. We were very proud to support her first private member's bill, for instance, seeking to ban glyphosate. We were very supportive of the work that she was doing locally on small modular reactors and trying to persuade the government of Canada, not to double down on investments in those areas. We were very supportive of the work that she was doing to support Mi'kmaq fishers as well, when the government of Canada continued to infringe upon and continues to infringe upon the treaty rights of Mi'kmaq fishers to earn a moderate living. So I can only speak to what my experience tells me, and I encourage again everyone to do the same. There has been a positive, productive working relationship, and when Ms. Atwin says that other considerations led her to this decision, then I accept that. I am the leader of this party. I have been the leader for long enough to be able to take, and rightly so, responsibility for things that happen, but I'm not the entirety of the party, and I will always try to improve relationships between members, but sometimes I will be successful and sometimes I won't, and I have to have the humility to accept that I won't necessarily always be successful.
And we go back to the phone for a question, operator.
The next question, la question suivante, Geneviève de Radio-Canada. La parole est à vous.
Oui, alors est-ce que vous avez des regrets, Madame Paul, à la suite de la nouvelle d'aujourd'hui?
Pardon?
Avez-vous des regrets, peut-être, par rapport à votre style de gestion, votre leadership?
Non.
Est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose qui...
Bon, j'ai dit non rapidement, mais en fait, j'espère, comme j'ai dit, que j'ai l'humilité d'accepter que j'aurai toujours, toute la longueur de ma vie, du travail à faire, qu'il y a toujours du travail à faire pour être une meilleure collègue, une meilleure écouteur, d'être plus responsive, etc. Alors oui, l'instinct, c'est d'être défensive, mais je ne veux pas l'être. Dans cet instant, comme j'ai dit, et Madame Atwin a dit aussi, je ne suis pas le cible de sa décision. Je ne suis pas liée à la décision. Ce n'est pas une question sur mon leadership. Mais bien sûr, j'accepte que j'aurai toujours dans ce rôle du travail à faire. J'espère que tout le monde a dans un rôle comme ça, à l'humilité d'accepter qu'il doit continuer à travailler pour assurer qu'il fait leur mieux.
Et quel examen de conscience faites-vous, Madame Paul, à la suite de cette nouvelle aujourd'hui? C'était quand même, Madame Atwin c'était un symbole de victoire parce que vous aviez réussi à faire élire en 2019 une députée à l'extérieur de l'île de Vancouver. Peu de temps plus tard, elle claque la porte au parti. Quel examen de conscience faites-vous?
Je crois que j'ai répondu à cette question. Je suis là, ça fait à peu près 6-7 mois dans ce rôle. Non, il y a une histoire dans le parti qui date avant mon leadership, avant aujourd'hui, et même aujourd'hui, Madame Atwin n'a jamais mise en question mon leadership. Je sais qu'il y a peut-être une tentation d'aller chercher ça où ça n'existe pas, mais j'espère que le média, j'espère que nos membres, j'espère que le public va accepter ce que Mme Atwin a dit et le prendre, prendre ces mots comme vrai quand elle dit que moi je n'étais pas un facteur dans sa décision, que elle veut rester amie, que elle me veut du bien, et notre parti aussi dans le futur. c'est tout. Et je crois que, comme j'ai dit, j'ai fait l'effort avec beaucoup de plaisir de célébrer son leadership, de partager mon plateforme avec elle pour ses politiques, les enjeux qui la passionnent. Et oui, je regrette qu'elle a quitté absolument et j'aurais fait mon mieux de le persuader de rester. Mais comme je comprends, c'est une discussion de plusieurs semaines. C'est pour des raisons qu'elle a expliquées elle-même et je suis déçue, mais j'accepte.
Opérateur, prochaine question.
La question suivante, the next question, Jacques Gallant, the Toronto Star. Please go ahead.
Hi, Ms. Paul. Contrary to what you've been saying today, we did hear Ms. Atwin at the press conference when asked if her departure had anything to do with the internal disagreements over Israel-Palestine. She did say it certainly has played a role. So I'm wondering, what do you intend to do to bring about a kind of resolution to the disagreements within your party on this issue?
Well, I'm happy to answer that question again. I feel like I've answered it a few times, but I will say that I try to bring all of my training and experience to bear on these situations. It is very important to me as the leader of a party that seeks to be a welcoming place for diverse peoples, for people from different backgrounds, different lived experiences, different points of view, to be able to express those views in a way that is safe, in a way where they feel that they are being heard, and in a way that allows people to disagree without being disrespectful of each other. And so again, I have the time that I have been in this role, but it's a commitment that is very important to me. So whatever the issue is, whenever the conflict arises, and it happens in every single political party, there's nothing unique about this to our party. My goal is always going to be first to try to dialogue and to try to reconcile, to make sure that there's at least that opportunity to do that and to take the time to do that. There are times when that will succeed and there are times when that will fail, but it is always going to be the first thing that I try. And I think that that's the right thing to do.
Thanks. And my follow-up question is really just to double back on a question that's been asked before, but I really would like to know if you condemn or condone the remarks made by your senior advisor about your own party's MPs, accusing them of, quote, appalling anti-Semitism and discrimination. Do you condemn or do you condone those remarks about your own party's MPs?
And as I said, my remarks are my own. I think it's clear that when one is speaking about something as personal as racism or anti-Semitism or discrimination, that you don't farm that out to anyone. I have been asked and continue to be asked, and I was asked even as a leadership candidate about issues related to anti-Semitism, related to my Jewish identity, related to my views on Israel and Palestine, incessantly. And so I don't think that there is anybody who is more on the record in Canadian politics, and I will include our Prime Minister in that, on my views related to that deadly conflict and what I think Canada's role can be in helping to facilitate a peaceful, lasting, and inclusive resolution. So if anyone would like to know what I think, it is all there on public record. I know that your newspaper has reported on that extensively. I know that it's out there in other media outlets as well. It's available on our website. It's available as statements. It's available as media releases. It's available as videos. It's available as tweets. It's available as Facebook posts. It's available on Instagram. And so people who want to know what I think they have all the information they need to know what I think.
We'll take one question on the phone and one last question in the room. So, operator, next question?
The next question, la question suivante est de Mélanie Marquis, La Presse. La parole est à vous.
Merci. Je vais revenir un peu là-dessus, Madame Paul, parce que je ne sais pas de quel public record vous parlez d'Instagram. Peut-être que je ne suis pas les bons comptes. Mais Noah Zatzman, qui est votre proche conseiller, je ne sais pas s'il est encore avec vous, a quand même accusé Jenica Atwin et Paul Manley d'avoir d'antisémitisme essentiellement. Donc, la question est importante justement pour vous, pour le genre de leader que vous êtes. Jugez-vous que c'était acceptable pour votre stratège, votre bras droit, d'attaquer comme ça 2 de vos députés?
Comme j'ai dit, mais c'est pas que les réseaux les réseaux sociaux non plus. C'est comme il y a des déclarations sur notre site web. Il y a aussi nos avis pour le média, nos avis médiatiques aussi. Il y a aussi il y a aussi mes conférences de presse. Non, mais c'est comme j'ai dit, c'est un peu c'est assez insultant d'avoir à cette question posée, parce que on ne demande pas à une autre personne si une personne traite une personne de raciste. Est-ce que alors il faut être le cas que vous aussi le dites, même si c'est en contradiction de tout ce que vous avez dit. Même quand vous avez dit que dans mon cas que j'appuie nos députés, même quand j'ai dit que j'ai hâte de leur soutenir dans les prochaines élections générales, d'assurer qu'ils soient réélus. Je ne vois pas du tout qu'est-ce qui correspond entre toutes ces paroles qui sont très récentes et la possibilité de ce que vous dites. Je ne veux pas même même pas donner expression à ces mots, parce que il n'y a rien à indiquer que je tiens ce point de vue. Je suis juive. Je ne travaille jamais avec les personnes où je crois ça.
OK, en suivi, parce que M. Manley aussi avait été attaqué par M. Zatzman, avez-vous une indication ou une garantie que M. Manley va rester au sein du Parti vert? Avez-vous eu cette discussion-là avec lui?
Il n'y a pas d'indication, au contraire. Mais comme j'ai dit, si on cherche à créer une nouvelle culture de politique, si on veut créer des espaces pour les gens, même les gens en politique, d'avoir des conversations, sans d'avoir des positions rigides, il ne faut pas mettre tout ça directement dans le public. Ou quand il y a quelque chose à dire, c'est sûr que nous allons le dire, mais pour l'instant, il n'y a pas de souci, il n'y a rien, il n'y a rien à craindre. Comme j'ai dit, notre caucus, on travaille ensemble d'une manière très proche. Nous avons beaucoup de campagnes coordonnées. Oui, c'est ça. Et une réflexion pour moi, c'est que ça fait 6-7 mois que moi je suis dans cette position. C'est la première position officielle politique que j'ai. Je ne suis pas une très ancienne membre de système organisé de politique. Sinon, c'est les types d'insinuation qu'il y a des liens qui vraiment n'existent pas, qui cause les gens à éviter de participer dans notre système politique. Et moi, je vais faire mon mieux, je vais faire ma part de créer une atmosphère qui est plus positive. J'ai aucune raison de douter les paroles de Madame Atwin aujourd'hui. Elle a dit clairement que ce n'est pas lié ni à moi ni à mon approche leadership. On sait que ces conversations sont des conversations assez anciennes et ils ne datent pas les événements des dernières 2 semaines. Alors, tout ça, c'est des faits et j'espère que ça va être reflété dans les reportages.
Et la dernière question sera dans la salle. The last question will be in the room. Chris?
Chris Reynolds, Canadian Press. When you see an MP who argues against the Trans Mountain Pipeline 1 week, against fracking 1 week, against what she called apartheid on the part of Israel 1 week, and then the next week goes to a party that obviously supports the Trans Mountain Pipeline, is backing fracking, and that wouldn't use the word apartheid in reference to Israel. Do you see any contradiction, or is that consistent in your eyes?
Chris, it's a legitimate question, and I think that it's one to ask Ms. Atwin. As I said earlier, while we are a party, and I think that this is reflected in the awards our MPs have won for their collegiality and their cooperation, and it certainly was a precondition to me in choosing to take this role, that we not be the party of simply opposition, that we not be the party of hyper-partisanship, that we seek the common ground wherever it existed, particularly because we need to on the really big challenges and opportunities that we face now. So we are always going to approach other parties with that perspective. That being said, there are significant differences between our parties. There are fundamental differences between our parties at this moment on fundamental issues like the approach to the climate. We do not agree that there is any feasible way to continue to build new pipeline projects which infringe on Indigenous sovereignty all over this country. We do not believe that there is a way to for us to continue supporting frack gas projects and at the same time reach our climate goals. We have more ambition for the climate. I believe that we have more ambition for social justice and reconciliation as well. And so, and there are other themes. There are other themes as well. So those are significant differences of policy that we have had, and that, of course, all of our MPs have spent quite a lot of time campaigning around and raising attention about. So that is again a question not for me, but all I can say is that certainly in terms of the residents, the constituents of Fredericton, I think that they recognized when they were voting for a Green MP that there was a real choice to be made between the kind of progressive policies that we were offering and the policies that the Liberal Party of Canada was offering. And as I said, I hope that they will be given the option of confirming this choice, because it wasn't theirs, and ultimately it is the constituents of every riding that deserve to decide not only who will represent them, but which party. And those things really can't be separated.
I imagine it's not been an easy day. Can I ask what went through your mind the first few seconds you learned the news about Ms. Atwin?
Well, I still haven't heard it directly from her, and it's again, I'm sure there is a lot that goes into this decisions. I mean, this clearly was a decision that was weeks in the making, I'm not seeking to fan any flames at all. So. It was disappointment because, as I said, we had worked closely together up until very recently. It was disappointment not to have heard in advance, but I suppose it was to maintain the element of surprise. As I understand it, many people in her constituency and senior leadership in the Green Party in New Brunswick also did not know. And then also disappointment that there hadn't been the opportunity to have some of the conversations that I would have hoped that we would have. But it's a personal decision. It was hers to take. I accept what she has said in the conference about what it is connected to and what it is not connected to. I haven't been here long enough to have developed a complete shield and armor to these things. I mean, certainly these things do take an emotional toll. I think it is important for people in Canada to know that politicians are human beings and we form personal relationships with people. But I'm going to continue to try to do this work. Her election was historic. Mine also was. And I know that there are a lot of people that are rooting for me to succeed. I know that there are those that want to know if it's possible for someone like me in politics to succeed. And so I'm going to do my best for as long as I can to try to show them that, yes, it is possible. Thank you.
And this concludes the press conference. Ceci met fin la conférence de presse. Merci.
Thank you for listening today, and thank you for supporting us with our sponsors. Please go to depictions.media for more information and click on our contact link and let us know how we can help bring your story and help bring us to a better world. This show has been produced by Depictions Media. Please contact us at depictions.media for more information.